What's up, YouTube? Really cool video today. We're going to be looking at a Japanese note article. It is paywalled, but there's a really good amount of information prior to the paywall, where they take the averages of top 8 Lugia V-Star decks and show us kind of like Limitless and Trainer Hill can for our online events. They show us the averages of how many decks include each Pokemon and trainer and energy in the successful Lugia V-Star Archeops decks, and also how many of each card, how many copies of those cards are played on average in the decks. So really interesting, and we'll also look at some deck lists as well for Lugia V-Star, because there's a lot of text, there's a lot of ways to play this deck, there's a lot of things to include. So the way people build Lugia V-Star is going to be very, very interesting to watch over the next couple of months. Before we get into it, though, shout out to all my sponsors. You can find links and ways to support me in the description down below. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for daily Pokemon TCG content. So I think this is a really good base list for Lugia V-Star before we get into all the averages and everything. Raikou or some form of lightning attacker is really, really great because Lugia is weak to lightning and so is Palkia. So lightning is going to be an important tech to have. Amazing Rare Evoltal can one-shot anything. Radiant Charizard's very powerful. Crobat VMAX is great against Mew VMAX. Because you can just set this up in one turn with the Archeops. It's even better with a V-Guard energy attached to it, which you do play one of in this list, because it makes it like impossible for Mew VMAX to win. If you get a Crobat VMAX with a V-Guard energy, take a knockout, it's pretty much game over for them. Really, really strong tech for that matchup. So let's oh, I will also just bring these on screen real quick for anybody watching who doesn't know what Lugia V-Star and Archeops do. Essentially, we're going to use Lugia V-Star to put our Archeops into play from the discard pile, and then Archeops, each of them can search your deck for up to 2 special energies and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So really strong, cheating out special energies, cheating out these stage 2 Archeops Pokemon. And now let's look at some of the good stuff here. I'll zoom in a little bit for y'all. Let's see. That's good. I don't want to zoom in too much. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. So they have 31 samples of decks of Lugia V-Star lists that made top 8. They also note, this is really good. They're really specific. They're also noting that they're excluding these drastically different decks, like Lugia Gengar, Lugia Tina, Lugia Duraludon are all being excluded. And they collected these lists from Pokemeshi.com. Okay, so what kind of deck? Yeah, they're explaining all of the decks evaluated, all the decks analyzed are Lugia V-Star Archeops decks focusing on these abilities, highly flexible deck. So 100% of these decks are going to be playing Lugia V and V-Star. The average amount of Lugia V-Star is 3, and the average amount of Lugia V is 3.8. So most people are playing 4, but some are trying out 3 Lugia V. And remember, these are all lists that have made top 8 at Japanese events. The size of those events are not noted, so they could be smaller, they could be mid-size. Okay, so then 100% of them, of course, are going to be playing Archeops, and most lists are playing just 3 Archeops, not 4. You'll see here it's 3.2. And then the Oranguru with Primate Wisdom, almost half of decks are playing Guru. And when they are playing Guru, they are playing 1. Absolutely 1. No ifs, ands, or buts about it when you are playing the Guru. Never more than 1. I think this is also noting, like, Guru is played in the Lost decks as well. Guru is good for putting special energy back into your deck and then Archeopsing it out if you have too many special energies in your hand, the same way you can with Lost Box decks because of Mirage Gate. Moving on. We have Crobat V and Lumineon V here. 80% of lists are playing Crobat V. Most of those are playing 1, but some people are branching out and trying 2 Crobat V. More than 50% are playing Illuminion V, and always just 1 copy of that. More than 50% are playing Pumpkaboo at 1 copy. Less than 50% are playing Dunsparce at 1 copy, but I think Dunsparce is on the rise. Then we have these Radiant Pokemon. So if they're not playing Radiant Charizard as their Radiant Pokemon, we have 1 out of 5 people playing a Radiant Gardevoir, 1 out of 10 people playing a Radiant Greninja, and then 3% playing a Radiant Hawlucha as the Radiant Pokemon for the deck. 20% of lists tried out some Bibarel, and they were actually leaning towards playing 2 Bibarel and 2 bdif, 1.7 average. And then 3% of decks tried out 2 Mew Celebrations. Almost 40% of decks played 1 Amazing Rare Eviltal, and 30% of decks actually played Regigigas, because Regigigas does 300 to VMAX Pokemon with a belt that's 330. They're showing here the Pokemon that these 2 Pokemon are good against. So Regigigas good against Regieleki, Duraludon, Mew VMAX, actually, it's not good against Duraludon. That's my bad. That's for Amazing Rare Eviltal. So Amazing Rare Eviltal is going to be good against Duraludon VMAX and Lugia VSTAR, and also Lugia VSTAR with the Guard Energy, because Duraludon can't be hit by Special Energy, but Amazing Rare Eviltal doesn't hit it. It says Knockout. And Regigigas is going to be good against Mew VMAX and Kyurem VMAX and Regieleki VMAX, which Amazing Rare Eviltal can also be good against those. And then 51% of decks are choosing Radiant Charizard as their Radiant Pokemon. And then 6% are trying out this Lugia that can do 250 damage. But if the opponent has less than 5 cards in their hand, this attack does nothing. I'm sorry, 5 or less cards in their hand, this attack does nothing. Let's just double check that. It's from Vivid Voltage. If they have 5 or less cards in their hand, this attack does nothing. But if they have 6 or more, you do 250. Almost 50% are playing Crobat VMAX, 22% are playing Drapion V, and 3% are trying out Galarian Moltres. I think these are kind of exclusive from each other, so if you're playing Crobat VMAX, you probably don't play Drapion V, and if you're playing Drapion V, you probably don't play Moltres. I personally have liked Crobat VMAX a lot in my testing. It feels really dominant against Mew. And then lightning attackers. Lightning attackers are really, really good. Like I mentioned, 20% of these lists are on Amazing Raikou, 20% of them are on Zeraora, and 10% of them are on Raikou V. Personally, I really like Amazing Rare Raikou, but it does need Choice Belt to knock out Palkia, and it needs Choice Belt to knock out Lugia V-Star. Note that Radiant Greninja and Archeops are also weak to lightning. There's a Zapdos that doesn't need Choice Belt, but it does discard all of your energy. I think we'll touch on that at some point here. It's a lower percentage played tech, though. Then we have Zamazenta V from Brilliant Stars, the new Megaierna V from Silver Tempest, and Zapdos V. The metal techs are to help against Kyurem, and the fighting techs help against these 3. This is a really, really good free portion of an article, I have to say. Ditto V and Ditto V Max. So actually 1 out of 10 players are using some Ditto Vs, and some are even using more than 1. And then 6% of decks were playing Ditto V Max and playing 2 of them. So this is really interesting. It means that you can use Duraludon's own attack to shred through them and do 220. You can use Kyurem VMAX's own attack against them, Mewtwo V Union's own attack against them, Lost Impact. So this is pretty interesting for sure. The 2/2 lines of Ditto VMAX. So let's see. Continually press advantageous V attackers because okay, yeah. So they're saying that the Ditto V is great because you can reuse things like Raikou V or Zapdos V or these tech attackers if you're choosing to play them, and then if your opponent has more powerful attacks than you, you just evolve up into Ditto V Max and copy them. The Stoutland V is quite interesting. For 3 energy, it does 40, and if it knocks out a basic Pokemon with this damage, you take an extra prize card. So with powerful colorless energies, this is going to be easier than it would without the powerful colorless energies. And then we have some decks playing Blissey and some playing the Slay King as well. Everybody's playing these, obviously, right? 100% Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, Evolution Incense, and then 9% on Capturing Aroma and Hisuian Heavy Ball, and 3% on Great Ball. I'm not too thrilled about those. 40% Balloon, 20% Rope, 3% Switch. Yeah, everybody should be playing some choice belts, I think. So 94% of lists are playing choice belt and 58% are playing lost vacuum. Then we have some more niche ones. I haven't actually tried any of these 6 cards in Lugia, I don't think. But I have thought about Echoing Horn. I haven't tried it though. And then we have 65% playing research, 100% playing Marnie. That makes sense. 97% of lists are playing Serena. 75% are playing Boss. I really, really, really like Serena in the Lugia decks. I haven't tried Professor Burnett, and I also haven't tried Roxanne or Charon. These are definitely the more niche played supporters at the moment in this deck, and I definitely haven't tried any of these, so I don't really have any opinion on those. The only stadium I've been playing in Lugia thus far has been Collapse Stadium. It just feels like the most it doesn't feel amazing most of the time, but none of the other stadiums feel any better. That's kind of where I'm at with Collapse Stadium. Lost City seems fine against Regigigas, so maybe that ends up being better. Pokestop, I don't like. Jubilife Village, I don't like. And Primordial Altar is meh. I'd rather play Collapse Stadium. The only one that is competition for me with Collapse Stadium right now is Lost City. And then Energy, of course, we're going to play for Powerful Colorless 100% of the time. Most of the time, we'll be playing for Aurora Energy as well. And then just some more energies. And if they don't mention the... Okay, so they don't mention the Zapdos, but they do have Zapdos in this list here on Pokemeshi. So definitely some differences between this list and this list, but I did want to bring up that Zapdos from Vivid Voltage. Thunder Snipe, discard all energy from this Pokemon, and this attack does 160 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon V or GX. Obviously just V here in standard format. But if they're in the active, this will do 320 to something that's weak to lightning, and you don't need Choice Belt for it. Of course, you are discarding your energy, but you were probably losing the energy anyway if that Pokemon was going to get knocked out. So yeah, I do think that this Zapdos is worth considering. I've been really, really liking Amazing Rare Raikou, but that probably means everybody is liking Amazing Rare Raikou, and there's going to be more Dunsparce and more Manaphy and more people prepared to play against Amazing Rare Raikou. So I think Amazing Rare Raikou is really strong, but the meta can shift against it, so it's good to have other Pokemon being considerations as well. Because if everybody's playing Manaphy, then Amazing Rare Raikou is like losing like a third of its power. Like, yeah, hitting the active for weakness is most of why it's good, but also that extra 120 is really helpful on the bench. And if you're losing that, then it's probably better to just play the Zapdos so you don't need a choice belt. So that's all of the Lugia VSTAR deck building analysis we're going to talk about today. But like I said, I think this list and this list are very good starting places. This one's the most similar to what I've been testing right now. And I will be getting some gameplay with that as soon as the set is on ptcgo. So thank you all for watching. I will leave a link to these resources in the description down below, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.